The Mariners' incredible road show picks up at the most hallowed wall in all of baseball, the Green Monster, here at Fenway Park in Boston. We welcome you to the first game of the three-game series between the Seattle Mariners and the Boston Red Sox on a delightful evening. And a very pleasant good afternoon to you all in the Pacific Northwest, everybody. Dave Niehaus along with Ron Fairley. You look at the playoff situations and the races in the American League, Red, and the Boston Red Sox are 3 games back of the New York Yankees. And as hot as the Oakland A's have been, there are people in Boston that think maybe their best chances of getting in the playoffs is just to go ahead and win the East.
And I think the reason that they're saying that is that they don't play the Oakland A's very much. I think they only have 3 games left with them all year long, whereas they're going to have to face the Yankees several more times. And if they can beat the Yankees, yeah, they can catch them and they can pass them.
We say the Mariners' incredible road show because the Mariners have not lost a series on the road this year. They are 45-15. Let's look at this evening's starting pitchers, brought to you by your Puget Sound Lexus dealers. First of all, Jamie Moyer pitched here in 1996. He was involved in a deal on the 30th of July involving Darren Bragg, and since that time, he has won twice as many games as he has lost for Seattle.
Yeah, that's a great trade for the Seattle Mariners, although earlier this year, he pitched here in Fenway and did not have a very good outing, only went 3 1/3 innings, gave up 3 2-run homers. But that was back early in the season. Jamie's been pitching well lately.
For the Boston Red Sox, they kind of reached into the grab bag and came up with Hideo Nomo, and Nomo has been outstanding. Problem is, he's had a little bit of a callus problem. He hasn't pitched in 8 days, and he gets his start tonight.
He's 1-1 against the Mariners this year, and the key in hitting off of Hideo Nomo, and that is make him get that split finger up. Rarely is he in the strike zone with the split finger.
So the Mariners are at Fenway Park in Boston. The Red Sox snapping a 4-game losing streak against the Baltimore Orioles a couple of days ago. They try and keep it going against the Mariners tonight. Jamie Moyer to the hill. Good to have you with us. We'll be back and have a look at this evening's starting lineups right after this timeout. By Safeco, proud sponsor of the Seattle Mariners. By Jack in the Box, where we won't make it till you order it. By Chevrolet, if only everything was as dependable as a Chevy. Chevy, we'll be there. By Pennzoil, protection under the toughest driving conditions. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines celebrates 30 years of freedom, one mission, low fares. Well, I'm sure it'll be a sellout before the evening is out here at Fenway Park in Boston. They jam this place throughout the summer, throughout the year. And this place, of course, the oldest ballpark in baseball, opened in 1912. We're set to play baseball, so let's look at tonight's starting lineups.
All right, let's take a look at the Mariners Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Here is the lineup in the opening game. Ichiro, McLemore, Martinez, Olerud, Boone, Cameron, Guillen, Bell, and then Wilson. On the mound, Hideo Nomo, who is making his 24th start of the year. He has a couple of shutouts this year. His last outing was 8 days ago against the Texas Rangers, and he went 4 2/3 innings in that game. And this year he is 1-1 against the Mariners. As you take a look at his pitches that he throws, once again, you have to make him get the splitter up. And as we have said, rarely is he in the strike zone with that splitter. And if you can make him get him up, make him get that pitch up, you can beat him.
Well, we started off with an all-Japanese confrontation, Hideo Nomo against Ichiro. And Ichiro says that outside of Safeco Field, this is his favorite ballpark in the league. Historic Fenway Park in Boston. We're set to go, and here's Nomo's first pitch. Right down the middle, a man calling balls and strikes is Mark Hirschbeck. Leading the league in hits with 174. Nomo misses down low, and the count of a ball and a strike. The Red Sox 65-51. 3 games back of the Yankees, who are playing Tampa Bay in New York tonight. There's that change. It's a screwball. And Ichiro right over the top of it.
See the swing that time by Ichiro as he gets all the way through every one of his swings. A little bit awkward, but boy, it sure works.
Fastball right down the middle, so Ichiro called out on strikes.
Nomo can be tough when he gets his off-speed stuff over, because the next thing you know, you start looking for that, and then the fastball, you can't even pull the trigger. Not that he's overpowering with the fastball, but it's that screwball or that split finger that is so tough to hit.
Well, and when he had to leave August the 6th against Texas 8 days ago, he had to leave after just 4 2/3 innings of work with a torn callus on his right thumb. He already had struck out 9 batters, so he's a strikeout pitcher. Mark McLemore takes inside, as we mentioned. Mark Hirschbeck is the man calling balls and strikes. Ron Kulpa, first base. Wally Bell at second. And Marty Foster is around at third. And there it is again. There's that change. Nomo will be 33 2 weeks from today. Makes his home in Tokyo. Was born in Osaka. There's a change again. Well, that man's been under a lot of heat back here. Jimmy's done a heck of a job. You know that, Red?
Well, he has. The only problem he's had has been with the media back here, not with the players so much.
Up high. 3-1. Jimmy Williams does not have a contract for next year. He won't be without a contract long if Boston doesn't re-sign him. To the second baseman, Lansing. So 2 down. And Edgar Martinez will be the hitter.
Batting third, number 11.
Dave, when you hit off a guy like Nomo, he doesn't give up that many home runs. Although this year he's given up 19 home runs, and that's kind of a high number for him. But he's the kind of guy that if you're going to beat him, you have to beat him with base hits. Because he doesn't really give up that many home runs. Either that or you got to go up the plate and then look for a particular pitch. And if you get it, you better hit it. Because you try to guess pitch by pitch by pitch with him, he's going to beat you and he's going to strike you out.
And Edgar Martinez.
Well, it looked like his spikes or something caught out there in the mound because, well, that pitch wasn't even close to the plate. See if you take what happened if his front foot didn't hit the, to touch the ground, and then Edgar was getting ready to say ouch, and the ball was well behind Edgar. And that was not a fastball. He ended up taking something off that pitch.
There's a change outside. So 1 behind him and 1 way outside. 2-0. Edgar, a 400 hitter. 4 for 10 against Hideo Nomo. High, the fastball, 3-0. Nomo's nicknamed the Tornado because of the way he delivers the baseball, all the gyrations he goes through. There's John Olerud, who will be next. Down the middle. Very high, so Edgar Martinez to first base with a base on balls, and Olerud will be the hitter. If the Mariners win tonight or tomorrow or Thursday for that, they will clinch a season series against the Boston Red Sox for only the 3rd time in 25 years. They are 4-2 against them. 2-1 here and in Seattle. The Red Sox making only the 1 visit to Seattle. The Mariners 2 back here. They play only 9 games this year with the new format.
Down the middle of Olerud, 0-1.
Just keep in mind now, the first time up, first inning anyway, what we have seen Nomo do is start a lot of hitters off fastball for strike one, and then he goes to working on it. Be interesting to see what he does second time through the lineup.
There's that change. The Red Sox, since Pedro went down on the 26th of June, are a game under 500. They're 20-21. Change way out in front of it. So no runs for the Mariners. Edgar Martinez on the base on balls, left over at first base, and Jamie Moyer out to the hill. He'll be facing Garciaparra, Steins, and Everett. No score.
It'll be Garciaparra, Steins, Everett, Ramirez, Bichette, Lansing, Hildebrand, Nixon, and then Mirabelli. On the mound is Jamie Moyer, and for Moyer, this will be his 24th start of the year. And you look down there at the very bottom, he has won 4 straight decisions. He's 1-1 against the Red Sox this year. Jamie Moyer, going after his 14th victory of the year, has a record of 13-5.
Well, Nomar Garciaparra has not been back that long. He's only appeared in 11 games. And he's in the leadoff spot, which is not his normal spot. He's usually a number 3 hitter. But he was in the leadoff spot on Sunday against Baltimore, and the Red Sox snapped a 4-game losing streak. And he's back up there again tonight. So, well, he's your best hitter. Why not give him as many at-bats as you can? Garciaparra didn't have much of a rehab, as a matter of fact. He only had 4 games at Pawtucket on his rehab schedule after undergoing that wrist surgery. And Moyer misses upstairs to him, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. 14 for 43 is Nomar Garciaparra. Out in front of the chains. Of course, Nomar's kid brother Mike was the Mariners' #1 draft choice this year. A young shortstop out of Southern California. The Mariners haven't signed him as yet. Out of high school.
There are 3 guys in the lineup tonight that give Moyer a difficult time. You're looking at one of them there in Nomar Garciaparra. Manny Ramirez wears out Jamie. And then Shea Hildebrand. There's Manny Ramirez. I'll tell you more about what he does against Moyer when he comes to plate.
Garciaparra, of course, is the defending American League batting champion. He will not defend it this year because he won't be able to get enough at bats. High pop up. And Brett Boone. An easy out. 1 down. And here's Chris Steins. Chris Steins is another one who has
number 12,
a great batting average, 571 against Moyer. He's 4 for 7. Well, the Mariners again an unbelievable 45-15 on the road. And Steins a fly ball to center. and almost slipping out there, and matter of fact skidding out there. You can see skid marks. Mike Cameron, as the sod gave way. Replace your divots, Michael.
Yes, indeed. You can see him coming in, then trying to put the brakes on, and then that right foot sliding about a foot or so, and he almost went on his hip pocket.
It's a good way to tear up a knee. It locks on you.
We talked about McLemore having two different kind of strokes. What about this guy right here? He's almost standing on home plate. In fact, his front foot is probably out of the batter's box. But right-handed, he stands off the plate and has an open stance. But look at this. He's right on top of the plate.
Well, Everett missed 32 games with a right knee strain. And since returning on the 28th of July, he's hitting only 178. A switch hitter, Carl Everett. Slice to left field into the corner. And that's going to be a foul ball.
You know, it's tough to hit a foul ball down the left field line.
Only 3 feet between the foul line and the wall down there.
But look at it again. You McLemore going into the corner. And sure enough, that ball lands foul.
See that 3 feet on the wall there that's in foul territory? That wall is 231 feet across. 228 feet of it are in fair territory. But those 3 feet are in foul territory. That screen put on top of it in 1936. Everett hit. And Carl barking at Jamie, actually not barking. He says, I'm all right, I'm all right. He's kind of smiling at Jamie. He knew he wasn't throwing at him.
Well, I don't know that he was. I mean, he stands right next to the plate. I mean, here's a pitch that may be just a few inches off the plate and he gets hit, and now he's going to complain. I don't understand that. Look at this. Look where he's standing. Look where his foot hits. That just hit him in the back of the arm. Well, look how close he is to the plate. Jamie just trying to come back up and in, hit him in the back of the arm.
So Everett to first base, and here comes the dangerous Manny Ramirez.
I bet you that pitch wasn't 3 inches off the plate.
A little outside to Manny. Hitting .419 with 6 home runs against Jamie. Ramirez has 103 RBIs, 1 back of Brett Boone.
We were talking about how well he hits against Moyer. How about .419 with 6 home runs.
Popped him up that time, however. And Carlos Guillen will make the easy catch. And here in the first inning, Everett left over at first base, no score after 1. 2002 season. Deposits for the 2002 full and partial season ticket plans are now being taken. It's your chance to lock in your place at Safeco Field for all the big games. To reserve your seats, you call 206-346-4001. Brett Boone will lead it off here in the second inning against Nomo. Boone, a little blooper into right center field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Diving Nixon, and on his way for 2 is Boone sliding as the throw goes on through to third base. So Boone has a bloop double. Nixon played that into a double.
Well, he
did. That's going to be a base hit all the way.
Yeah, that was not a very good play by the right fielder, because if you dive for the ball and you know there's a point when you can catch it, and you miss the ball that far, what you do instead of giving the guy a single, you end up putting the leadoff man at second base. Now you see Boone running hard all the way. Good hustle by Boone, but a poor defensive play by Nick. Give him the single, but don't give him the double. Should be a single and an error, but they're going to score that as a double. The mental error by the right fielder.
Mike Cameron, the hitter, and Cammy taken outside, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes.
But you see Boone watch the way that Nomo pitched to everybody that hit in front of him. They started him off with a fastball on the first pitch, and here in the second inning, Boone jumped on it. So that's smart hitting. And then you notice that Nomo came back with Cameron and started him off with a breaking ball.
And there goes Boone to third, and the pitch is bobbled by Mirabelli. So Mirabelli was picked up by the Boston Red Sox from the Texas Rangers. Couldn't handle a pitch, and a stolen base for Brett Boone is third.
And you see Cameron faking. There's that pitch that's in the dirt, bobbled by the catcher. They had no chance. Boone with a pretty good jump. I don't think they would have thrown him out anyway, but a very alert play by Boone.
Fastball, and that ball is belted deep to left field, and that baby will fly away. So Mike Cameron, his 18th home run, and never any doubt about that one, as Hideo Nomo has just given up his 20th home run of the year, and the Mariners have taken a 2-0 lead.
And you're right, there wasn't any doubt about that one leaving the yard. Cameron has already hit a home run against Nomo this year, and this is his second one. And there wasn't any doubt about this one. Tried to sneak a fastball by him on a fastball count behind 2-0. Didn't work.
And so that baby out on the Lansdowne. Well, it didn't quite make it. It got the net, got it. Didn't quite get out of the Lansdowne, the top of the net. And that's down low to Carlos Guillen.
Take a look at the contact of Cameron. Take a look at his eyes going right down onto that baseball, following that all the way down there. Well, that's a perfect swing by Cameron. Kept his head nice and still.
He knew that baby was gone. A change for a strike. And another change. That one was in the dirt. So 3 strikeouts for Hideo Nomo. 1 out here in the inning. And David Bell will be the hitter.
Batting 8, number 25, the third baseman, David Bell.
Bell 2 for 8 against Nomo. Although, of course, he has pitched a couple of no-hitters, one in his first outing this year with Boston. Nomo will give you usually in an at-bat a pitch to hit, won't he, Red?
Well, yes, he will. I think just about every time a guy, even though a guy throws a no-hitter, he's going to give you a pitch to hit. The question is whether you're ready to hit it or not.
Like that one. Mark Burley of the White Sox, the #1 pitcher as far as batting average against, 211, but right behind him at 213 is Nomo. And that ball is tattooed 2 into the gap, and deep left center's got enough. No, it's off the top of the wall, and Bell will move into second base, standing up with a double. That missed being a home run by about 18 inches. That was high off the wall in deep left center field.
Yeah, if Bell can get that ball a little higher, it'll go, or if he pulls it a little bit more, it'll go. But there it is, almost the same pitch that Cameron hit. This time Bell hit this into left center field.
The catcher.
That hit left high off the wall. Take a look how much that needs to get out of here. That ball just gets the very top of the wall. Solid double that time by Bell.
And Dan Wilson will be the hitter. A slider, a rare slider that time. It's usually fastball or changeups. So Nomo, who calls time to tie his right shoelace.
Well, his fastball is anywhere from 85 to 91 miles an hour. Got a big slow curveball, an occasional slider, changeup, and that split finger, or the changeup, whatever it is. He throws that about a third of the time.
There it is.
So you have 3 strikes on which to work. And all you have to do is guess right on one of them. Now, how many times will he throw his fastball 3 times in a row, or how many times will he throw the split finger 3 times in a row? Well, after he throws it a couple of times, I don't think he does it that often. But after he does it a couple of times, then you can look for the other pitch.
There's the curveball. It is raining in New York, where Tampa Bay is to play the Yankees tonight. New York, of course, not that far from Boston, and Tampa Bay is hot. They're just coming off a 4-game sweep of the Minnesota Twins up at Sky Dome. Oakland trying to win their 12th in a row, leading Toronto 1-0. Timmy Hudson against Chris Carpenter.
And Oakland continues to score in the first inning just about every game they play.
Full count, 3-2 on Dan Wilson.
It's going to be a busy night for Doug Mirabelli behind the plate for the Red Sox, because Nomo throws a lot of those split fingers in the dirt. So it might be good if the Mariners get some men on base. They might be able to run. It looked like Lou thinks that there might be a split finger coming to the plate.
Change, 3-2 change. So it'll be up to Ichiro.
Number 51, the right fielder.
Word on Jason Varitek.
Suzuki.
It's not real encouraging. He's got that bad elbow, bad shoulder. And they're saying that Varitek may not even be back the rest of the year. And that's a big bat out of the lineup, and certainly an outstanding catcher out of the lineup. The ex-Mariner, Varitek. Ichiro caught looking his first at bat. 476 his batting average with men in scoring position, however. Showing that bunt.
Well, he had a decent pitch to hit. He had Steins at third base playing well back of the bag. Even where he's standing right now, if Ichiro bunts it down third, there's no way that they're going to get him.
0-1.
You know, Ichiro is such a good hitter. And when you do to get guys down there in scoring position, I think Lou would like to see him swing the bat rather than to go ahead and bunt. Because they know he can bunt the ball and get a base hit that way. But then that just puts the pressure on McLemore to get a 2-out base hit.
And he's going to bunt the ball and fouls it back. Fouls it away up the third base side. That brings a little hum among these very knowledgeable fans here at Fenway. A bunt with a runner in second and 2 away.
Yeah. Because a base hit can drive the runner in, but if you bunt, you can't get the guy in from second base.
Nothing in. Full count.
First base is open, so right here you have Nomo can throw anything he wants to Ichiro. The first base open. Not necessarily a fastball count.
Pops it up into left center field shallow, going out to second baseman Lansing to make the catch. The Mariners get the 2-run home run from Mike Cameron high up into the screen in left center field, and they take the early 2-0 lead. The designated hitter Dante Bichette will lead it off against Jamie Moyer. A 2-run home run by Mike Cameron has given the Mariners the early 2-0 lead. Bichette a strike taken on the outside corner. Dante having a good year at .298 batting average.
Has a difficult time hitting the off-speed stuff of Moyer. He's just 1 for 10. But a very dangerous hitter in this ballpark.
Change. And around he goes, and he misses. Ran into a young man with his grandma and grandpa in the lobby.
You can see the hot zone there of Dante Bichette. Likes the ball out of the plate. Stands close to the plate.
And he's rung up with a fastball right across the letters. Jack McCarthy, 8 years of age, is here with his grandmother and grandfather. Red and I ran into him. His grandma and grandpa bringing him back here for his 8th birthday. And then they're going on down to New York to see Yankee Stadium. And wanting to say hello to his mom and dad listening in Seattle, actually on Mercer Island. Pass along their best wishes. And he is all bug-eyed back here tonight about being at Fenway Park in Boston. What a great 8th birthday present his grandmother and grandfather had given young Jack McCarthy. Here's Mike Lansing. Taking outside, ball 1 ball and no strikes. Moyer living on that changeup. Jamie Moyer picked up from the Boston Red Sox in 1996 for Darren Bragg in what may be the greatest trade in Mariner history. Since he arrived on the scene, he has won twice as many games as he has lost. He's 78-39 as a Mariner. There's a ground ball right to Olerud, and John will underhand to Moyer, going over the cover. I think either one could have done the job. Yeah,
I think Olerud had plenty of time to go ahead and go to the bag, and with Jamie was standing right there, that soft little toss to him in plenty of time. You know, pitchers will do different things to try to help win the ball game. Maybe have their fastball look a little bit better. But if you get a shot of the mound, you'll see that mound is pretty well covered up, and you can't see the rubber very well. And there have been, see what I'm talking about? You don't really see where the rubber is very well. Well, there have been some times when pitchers, when they want a little extra on their fastball, they might stand a foot or so closer and then cut loose and throw a fastball by some hitters.
I don't think Nolan Ryan ever threw a ball 60 feet 6 inches in his career.
Well, look at this. Where's the rubber? Well, you can see that Jamie has a hole that he has dug for himself. But you know what? You get down to the part of the ball game where, look, where's the rubber? You can't even see it. Where you may want to throw a good fastball. Why don't you just stand up maybe a foot or two in front of the rubber and then rear back and throw it? Gets the plate a little quicker.
A little high.
And don't think that hasn't been done.
Oh, yes.
That's been done a number of times. And I've been looking, you know, this is the first ballpark I've seen in a long time where I think you could sneak up and give a little extra. Say, hey, that guy put a little extra on that fastball. Well, sure. He was 3 feet closer.
A little high and inside to Hillenbrand, who, by the way, has worn out Moyer. He's hit 600 against Moyer. Of course, that's only 5 at bats, 3 hits. Stretch that out to about 60 times at bats and then get a true barometer of what he really hits against him. 3-1 the count on Hillenbrand. Full count. You can't walk this man. He's only walked 7 times. 7 times in 342 at bats.
If it's close to the plate, he's swinging.
And he's still swinging. Not going to walk him this time either. Guillen's going to throw him out, and Moyer's going to have a 1-2-3 second inning. And at the end of 2 on the home run by Cameron, the Mariners lead it 2-0. Of fall in the air here on the 14th of August. It's been a rather warm day, but not overly warm. Been very pleasant. So we get set to go to the 3rd inning of play. Don't forget, on Wednesday, August the 27th, the back to school rally, noon to 1 o'clock at Safeco Field. Free tickets are available at any Washington Mutual Financial Center. It's noon to 1 on August the 22nd at Safeco Field. Mark McLemore takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Johnny Pesky dropping by, a great Red Sox legend here. The right field foul pole, the Pesky pole. And wanting to say hello to all of his relatives, and particularly his brother Vince, probably watching in Portland tonight. Looks great, Johnny does, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. And what a delightful guy he is. Seems like every time we come to Fenway Park, you look forward to seeing, of course, the Green Monster. Obviously, you want to get a bat and hit. The other thing is you want to sit down and visit with Johnny Pesky.
Absolutely.
There's the Pesky pole on the right side of your screen.
Two and two on McLemore. Very high. Of course, Nomo, a Japanese, and the Red Sox were amongst the bidders for Ichiro. They also submitted a secret bid for Ichiro to the Oryx Blue Wave during the offseason. The Mariners had the high bid, and mighty happy they did. Popped up and into foul territory. Hillenbrand makes the catch. One down.
Number 11, the designated hitter,
Edgar Martinez, the hitter. And lined into the corner down the left field line. I don't think Edgar's going to be able to get to second. No, he'll hold after a long single to left field.
Edgar still not running as well as he's capable. Jumped on the first pitch and right down the line like that, or straight away to left field.
Number 5,
you're not going to get very many
baseman.
doubles. But you can see Edgar kind of taking his time and favoring that one leg. But one out base hit by Edgar as he continued to hit well. He's hit now in 8 of the last 9 games that he's played.
Olerud struck out to end the first inning.
This would be a real good ballpark for Olerud to play in. Talking about his hitting style, the way that he hits so many balls to left field. But this would be a good ballpark for him to play in. Because he doesn't pull the ball a lot. He hits the ball left field. He'd hit a lot of balls off that green monster for you to play here all year long. You know, Edgar does not have the good wheels right now, but they're holding him off. And in doing so, that leaves a pretty good hole for Olerud. Look at that space over here that he has to pull one through. Got a good pitch to pull too. But I would think that a scouting report would indicate that he's not running, that he has that quadricep. I'm surprised that the first baseman is not playing behind it.
There's that change that just barely missed. Previous one, same pitch, it got the inside corner. Full count on John. And a pulled foul ball down the right field line. An interesting bright red sky here in Boston. The old nautical saying. Red sky at night, sailor's delight, and maybe it is a mariner's night here. They lead it 2-0 in the very early going. And there's ball 4 to John Olerud.
Ordinarily on a 3-2 count, you'd see the runner go.
He foul tipped that ball?
No, it's full count. But I think that with Edgar's strained quadricep, I don't think he's going to be going with 1 out. 2 outs, of course he'd be going, but he doesn't have to run very hard. I just can't see Edgar going here.
And he finally did walk in with a fastball inside. So the second base on ball is given up by Hideo Nomo. Tonight at 11:30, don't miss the last word with Jim Rome tonight. Jim will be joined in studio by former Dallas Cowboys Troy Aikman and Daryl Moose Johnson. Both of them will be analysts for NFL on Fox games this fall. The last word tonight at 11:30 right here on Fox Sports Net. Here's Boone, who had a single played into a double by Trent Nixon out in right field. Change out in front of it.
Boone jumped on a fastball the first pitch his first time up. Looking for it again, didn't get it.
Yep. 2 strikes. Oakland and Boston tied 1-1. Oakland and Toronto, I should say, tied 1-1 in Toronto in the second. Mariners up on Boston 2-0 here in the third with 2 on and 1 down. On the outside corner, the fastball. So that's 5 strikeouts for Nomo.
Number 44.
And only 3 behind Roger Clemens now.
Look at that, Pedro Martinez, third in the league, and he hadn't pitched in quite a while. He hadn't pitched in a month.
Hasn't pitched in more than that. He hasn't pitched since June the 26th. Mike Cameron put the ball into the net with Boone aboard in the second. A change upstairs to him, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, he fell behind Cameron 2-0 his last time up and then tried to sneak a fastball by him. And that's when he hit the 2-run homer. And now he's ball 1.
Change at the knees. Good splitter. Next pitch will be his 60th. Outside and low. An appeal denied by Ron Kulp at first base. Cameron takes outside again. A line drive base hit to left field will not score Edgar Martinez.
No, he will not. I mean, even if he had good legs, he wouldn't score. Fastball count 3-1. Remember the last time Nomo gave Cameron a fastball to hit and he hit a 2-run homer.
And he drops a slider or a breaking ball over the outside corner. 3-2. Been a splitter. Runners go, and he's got another strikeout. That's 2 strikeouts an inning for Mike Cameron. That's a 24th consecutive game in which he has struck out at least once. 2 are left on, and it's still 2-0 Mariners. Zone brought to you by Chevrolet. We're talking about Oakland and their 11-game winning streak. Look at the numbers during this streak of theirs. Their team earned run average of 1.73, averaging less than 2 walks a game per 9 innings, a team batting average of 273. They picked up 5.5 games in the wild card standings, and they have just been on fire. Of course, the Mariners were earlier. They now trail Toronto 2-1 in Toronto in the 3rd inning as Trot Nixon steps in and leads it off for the Boston Red Sox and takes a strike. Trot Nixon and John Olerud have something in common. Nixon from North Carolina, but that certainly is, of course, nothing in common. But both of their fathers are dermatologists. Trot Nixon's dad and John Olerud's father, of course, heads up the dermatology department at the University of Washington. Trot Nixon's dad has 2 or 3 clinics in the Carolinas and is a part owner of Wilmington, the Dodger Farm Club. And that ball is belted deep into right center field, and Cameron is back there to make the catch as the ball is about to go into the bullpen. He just leaned with it, dropped his glove over the railing, and made the catch.
Hit it toward the biggest part of the ballpark, or very close to it. It's 420 feet back there in the corner, but you can see Ichiro going back, Cameron calling for it. Guys in the bullpen getting out of the way. They know it's going to leave the yard, but there's Cameron all of a sudden there to make the catch. Good defensive play by Mike Cameron. We've seen him do that many, many times.
Mike had it all the way.
Yes, he did.
And here is Doug Mirabelli, the catcher. Two and one.
It's always been a difficult ballpark for a left-hander to pitch because of the short left field fence there at the Green Monster. And what happens is the Red Sox, in addition to that, have always had a bunch of good right-handed hitters, which makes it even that much more difficult for left-handers.
First one given up by Jamie. And that's not a man you want to walk. Number 9 hitter.
Take a look at Jamie in his last 3 road starts. He's 2-0. Look at that ERA. It's 0.83. 3 walks, 12 strikeouts. So he's been on a good roll away from Safeco Field.
Nomar in the leadoff role, popped up to Boone, starting off the Boston first. And that ball is hit to deep left field, and we are not tied. That's off the wall. And the throw to second base, they got a shot at Nomar, but they don't get it. That missed being a home run by about a foot.
Not only that, it was about a foot away from McLemore throwing Nomar out at second base. So close for being a home run, close to being an out. And look at it again. That ball goes off the wall. McLemore getting in position. They need a couple of feet. There's McLemore getting the ball back to the infield. A good throw by Mac. Close play down at second base.
Just barehanded the ball. Played the carom perfectly and made a perfect throw also.
Obviously safe at second base, but a close play nevertheless.
So here is Chris Steins, the third baseman. And a ground ball back to Moyer. Everybody has to hold, and he throws him out.
Boy, what a great play by Moyer. And that ball was hit hard. And the runners had to hold. Steins very upset, threw the bat away, but what a great defensive play by Jamie. Look at it again as that ball was hit sharply right back up the middle. Boy, he made that look nice and easy.
The ball was smoked. And here comes Carl Everett, who was hit.
And here's a guy that probably does not stand in the batter's box. You see him doing some work there in the batter's box, erasing whatever line there may have been in the batter's box. But there's a point where you can be out of the batter's box. I mean, he almost stands with his front foot on the plate. You draw some lines, but you can draw the lines you want, but that's not necessarily where the batter's box is.
A little bit outside ball one. Well, no. Here's what happened in the first inning.
See where he is standing in the very first inning when Jamie hit him with a fastball inside. Jamie wasn't throwing at him.
One and one.
You wonder why he is a switch hitter. Why is he batting left-handed and not batting right-handed off of Moyer? Well, left-handed, he's a .308 hitter. But batting right-handed, he's hitting only .189. I'd hit left-handed too. Earlier in the year, Everett was ejected from the game for arguing with the umpire. Where the umpire says, you've got to back off the plate. You stand too close. He got into an argument, was kicked out of the ball game. He's only about 4 inches away from the plate.
Moyer is about as savvy a pitcher, knowing the hitters, as anybody I've ever known.
Fun to talk pitching with James.
Yeah, well, matter of fact, the folks at Fox give us scouting reports, as you know, before every series. And Moyer wants to see them.
Yeah, he wants to see what it is that the scouting reports say. Just to confirm some things that he thinks that he knows.
Popped up, may be playable. David Bell goes over there, not playable. A little bit outside. Everett and Jimmy Williams have had their differences, but they're on kind of a truce right now, as Everett went in to talk to him about not playing after he'd been benched, and he put him back in the lineup. And a ground ball down the third baseline to Bell, and his throw to first, and it's just in time to get Carl Everett. Great play by Bell, as he had to charge and make the throw on the run. No runs, one hit, and two of them left out there in scoring position for the Boston Red Sox. And after three, still 2-0 Mariners. Great play.
Well, we'll find out. I don't know.
Carlos Guillen. Carlos Guillen will start it off. He struck out in the second inning. Nomo's been on a strikeout tear. He struck out 6 in 3 innings.
See how many times he'll throw the same pitch 3 or 4 times. He doesn't do it very often. That was that split finger or changeup.
Fastball that time. An easy play for Lansing.
You know, that last inning with 2 men out, runners at second and third, and a ground ball hit down to David Bell is going to be a tough play. Look at the runner at third base. The runner stays at third base. Look at this.
Number 25.
I don't think
the third
that Mirabelli knew how many outs there were, because with 2 men out, you got to go. Even if Everett beats this out, the Red Sox don't score.
Got the bases loaded. That's all.
That's all. You got bases loaded. So that was not a very alert running play that time by Mirabelli. I think he forgot how many outs there were.
Well, on the other hand, you know, the play is right. If he's running home, Bell is running right toward home, and he feels that ball. He's got an easy play, probably an easier play to go to home and make the tag on him than to throw to first.
2 men out, you run.
Routine fly ball, and David Bell. 2 down. Well, the easiest way to buy Mariners tickets by logging on SeattleMariners.com. Don't miss your next chance to experience the magic of Mariners baseball. Look ahead on the schedule and get your tickets now for September the 18th, the 19th, and the 20th as the Mariners take on the Anaheim Angels. Seats are available, so log on today. SeattleMariners.com. Connect with it. Dan Wilson struck out in the second inning. Nomo mania, boy, when it hit Los Angeles, it hit hard. Almost as big as Fernando mania. Lansing will make the catch in the first 1, 2, 3 inning for Hideo Nomo. Manny, Dante Bichette, and Mike Lansing when we come back. Still 2-0 Mariners.
To third base, and they said they had darn much spin to the ball. They used to eat up the third baseman down there, and of course they would play as deep as they could, but Double X was quite a player. Jimmy Fox. Talking about quite a player, what about this guy?
Manny Ramirez, a strike to him, 0-1. This is where you like to see him, leading off an inning.
Third in the league in slugging percentage. Second, just 1 behind Mike Sweeney in extra base hits in the league. He has 66.
Way out in front of it, a bullet, but back into the stands.
I think Ramirez is so conscious of the Fenway, the green monster here, that he's going out trying to hook that ball. So when he does get a pitch inside, the only thing he can do with it is to pull it way foul. Now, when he decides to hit the ball up the middle the other way, he is a tougher out, because he hit the ball in on him over the center field fence, or he can hit it over the right center field fence.
And strike three call. Boy, you talk about being full. He spun all the way around. He didn't know what to do with that pitch, and it was a curveball that got him on the inside corner.
Boy, I've seen guys back away from a pitch, but I've never seen a left-hander to a right-hander throw a pitch up there and have him spin completely out of the way.
Is that a cutter? I'm not exactly sure what that pitch was, Red.
Either a fastball or a cutter.
Yeah, I thought it was a curveball, but it wasn't a curveball. There's a base hit by Dante Bichette. That's only the second hit in the ball game for the Red Sox.
Number 3, the second baseman, Mike Lansing.
Mike Lansing hit a little ground ball off the end of his bat to Olerud.
Been swinging the bat well since the All-Star break. Been batting right around .340.
There's a curveball. Still waiting out a rain delay in New York between Tampa Bay and the Yankees. One. Andy Pettit against rookie Joe Kennedy, a left-hander for Tampa Bay, if they get to play that ball. That's where we'll be next over the weekend in New York City. Had a famous name around these parts, Joe Kennedy. 2-1. Tanner's looking for a double play ball. Base hit into the gap, left center field. Over to cut it off is Cameron, and Mike will throw it into second base to keep the double play in order. So Lansing's bat is still hot since the All-Star break.
With the speed of Cameron, though, balls hit like that do not get into the gap simply because he has the speed to get over there and cut the ball off and keep the guy that hits the ball to a single. The smart play by Cameron to throw the ball to second base. If you try to throw the ball to third, then you allow the tying run to go down to second base. Keep the tying run at first base whenever possible. And now a double play, and you can get out of the inning. You can get this guy to hit one on the ground.
Which he did last time, right to Guillen, the shortstop. And that ball popped up into left center field. Will get the run in. As Bichette tags at third, here he comes, and the throw goes to second. We've got a 2-1 ball game. Sacrifice fly for Hillenbrand.
Number 7.
Trot Nixon hit one into the Boston Red Sox bullpen that was caught last inning, leading off the inning.
Well, we talked about Lansing hitting well since the All-Star break. So is this guy here. In fact, even the last 3 games, the last 9 games, he's been hot. He also hit about 3 home runs in the last 10 games, rather. 3 home runs, 9 runs driven in the last 10 games.
Talking to former general manager Luke Gorman, who's still in the Red Sox front office. This is the last young man that he signed in his regime, #1 draft choice out of North Carolina, and mighty proud of the way he's come along.
Well, he's developing into an everyday player.
Barely outside, but emphatically called by Mark Hirschbeck. '53 pitches. Nixon, a base hit to center field. So 2 on, 2 out, and 1 in as Doug Mirabelli will be the hitter. Don't forget now, coming up after the game, we invite you to stay tuned for Mariners wrap-up. Our own Brad Adam is right here at the ballpark, bringing you in-depth analysis and highlights from this evening's game, interview some players, and get caught up on scores from around the league. Coming up next on Fox Sports Net. Mirabelli walked, hitting .323 with the Red Sox, hitting .225 overall.
Dave, you get back to that play that Cameron made on the base hit by Lansing, throwing the ball to second base. Remember, we talked about keeping the runner at first. Well, if you threw the ball to third, Lansing would have gone, you'd have a tie ball game. That's why you make him get 2 hits to get the run versus 1.
Way out in front of the change. 1-1.
Well, you always want, as an outfielder, you always want to be able to keep the runner at first base and give your pitcher a chance. Doesn't mean he's going to, but at least you give him the opportunity of having a ground ball double play to get out of the inning.
Mirabelli, ground ball hit right to Mr. Bell, so he'll go the long way, and that will take care of the Bo Sox here in the 4th. They get 1 back on 3 hits, and they leave a couple out there. Top of the order in the 5th for the Mariners, Ichiro, McLemore, and Edgar. 2-1, Mariners. Ownership, and it's interesting to note that it cost you $25,000 just to have your name in the pot, and I don't think that's refundable. A strike and the count, a ball and a strike on Ichiro, and one of the names being mentioned is Stephen King, the famous horror writer from Bangor, Maine, big Red Sox fan. Ichiro with a 10-game hitting streak. He's hit in 21 of his last 22. 21 of the games in which he has last started, he's hit safely. The other was a pinch hitting role, had his streak snapped. And a line drive, make it another hit for him, the number 175, and an 11-game hitting streak. Just went down and one-handed that ball into right field.
Nice little serve into right field. Didn't swing at it very hard, but hit it just well enough to get out of the infield. And here at Fenway Park, as deep as it is, look where that pitch is. You know, there are times when he hits the ball, it's about 6 inches off the ground sometimes.
Well, you've seen the at bat that he had as an orange blue wave where he hit the ball on the bounce, didn't you, coming up to the plate? Yeah. So, and he got a base hit out of it.
Now the Mariners have a leadoff man aboard here.
High and outside to Mark McLemore.
McLemore's done a great job batting in that number 2 spot in the lineup, because he's been able to take enough pitches to allow Ichiro to steal if he should be inclined to do so. And he's been able to be a pretty good contact hitter hitting behind Ichiro. And I would imagine that Lou is going to let Ichiro try to steal, because Mirabelli behind the plate does not have that good of a throwing arm. And on top of that, Nomo does not have a real quick delivery to the plate.
And that ball is blitzed into right center field for a base hit, so Ichiro will easily make his way to third base.
See, there you are, taking some pitches, allowing the runner at first base to steal, and what happens is fall behind the count. Now you throw McLemore a fastball, he jumps on it, and you still get Ichiro around to third base. That's good hitting.
The designated hitter,
Edgar that line drive in the outfield. Slowed down a little bit by the grass. Normally you play on the carpet, that ball zips through the outfield. But that's the reaction that you get when you play on the natural turf.
Edgar Martinez has been aboard both times. He's walked, single into left field.
That time you had McLemore faking as though he's going to go. Garciaparra stayed at short. It was Lansing who was going to be covering second base. So if they do decide to send the runners, Edgar may shoot one to the right side of the diamond.
Red Sox 3 games back of New York in the East. And 2 games back of the Oakland Athletics in the wild card race. McLemore barely back in there at first base.
McLemore getting what they referred to as their maximum lead. Showing how far you can get off and still get back before the throw to first base.
Edgar takes low, and the count of the ball and a strike. McLemore in 35 tries has been caught only 3 times stealing bases. A career high in stolen bases for him, 32. And still 43 games to be played after tonight.
You know, with the way that McLemore has been getting on base and the way that Lou has been turning the runners loose, he might end up, who knows, he might end up with 50.
Making himself a toehold over there at first base with that lead. Boy, Edgar got a pitch.
Oh boy, and he just missed it. Boy, did he have a pitch to hit, and Nomo's lucky. Nomo got away with a pitch right there. Look at the swing that Edgar. Did he have this ball timed? I mean, he had that ball timed perfectly. And just fouled it straight back.
There's Ichiro over at third. And there's Mac over at first, and nobody out in this 2-1 ball game. We're in the 5th inning. On the outside corner, strike 3 call. huge strikeout for Nomo.
Big strikeout. And look where this pitch was placed, right on the outside corner. Boy, a nasty pitch to Edgar Martinez. And Edgar could not pull the trigger, and Edgar knew it. Now the double play is in order. So Olerud needs to get that runner in from third base right now. So far in the game, Mariners are just 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position, 4 strikeouts.
Mariners have been involved in several 2-1 games in their favor this year, but you can't live on 2-1 games very long. Got to score some runs. This is a 2-1 game. Pitch out, and McLemore not going anywhere. The Mariners won 2-1, of course, on Sunday against the Chicago White Sox.
You know, Dave, there are times that the really good base runners know when you pitch out. They can read that, and I'm not too sure that's exactly what McLemore did there. I think he was going to go, stopped, and went back.
Are you going to let the ball go through with Ichiro over at third base on a steal attempt on a pitch out? High and inside.
Well, if you try to cut the ball off, I mean, you have a choice. You can throw it back to the pitcher. You can throw it down to second and have either the shortstop or second baseman cut in short. But you're going to gamble, though, that Ichiro is going to try to score. I mean, you got the speed out there. Mariners, certainly Lupinella could put on the double steal. I look for McLemore to go here in the next pitch or two.
In the dirt. 3-0.
Why not go 3-0? You want to go ahead and let Olerud swing the bat, or walk him and then bring up Boone.
Olerud might be swinging 3-0.
Might get the green light to hit 3-0. You reach that time of the year where you throw out a lot of the automatics, like swinging 3-0. You throw that out, and you just may let a good hitter like Olerud swing the bat 3-0. John has had the hit sign 3-0 a lot this year. Doesn't mean that you have to swing. Only if it's the pitch you want to hit.
Change out in front of it, 3-0. That's a heck of a 3-0 pitch.
3-0 pitch, and he wouldn't throw him a fastball. You see, that's why you throw that automatic stuff out, 3-0, and then just lay a fastball down the middle of the plate. Not at this time of year, you won't. So Nomo thinking right along with that of Lou Piniella. Well, if you're going to hit 3-0, you know you're hitting 3-1. Any question about that?
And there goes the runner, and he is in there, and McLemore one more time has another stolen base. Pitch cut on and missed, and the count 3-2, but the double play is removed. Number 33 for McLemore.
See the throw down to second base, and not in time, as you see Garciaparra to make sure he catches the ball. But Nomo's going after a strikeout.
Well, he's got 7 of them.
Yeah, I know he has. Infield, it's short in second base. I mean, they're going to give you a run. I mean, if you just beat the ball on the ground, also if you hit the ball to the first baseman, they're going to give you a run.
And a change got him. Boy, you talk about some clutch pitching. Nomo went 3-0 on John Olerud and came back and struck him out. That's 8 strikeouts for Nomo.
Number 29.
Look at that pitch right there. That was a nasty split finger. Mariners are now 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And they have 7 strikeouts.
Boone watches one just barely miss a change. 1-0. Almost getting up there in number of pitches. Boone and Juan Gonzalez tied for the RBI lead with 104, and a couple sitting out there perched in scoring position for him to untie the deadlock here in the 5th inning. Fastball that time. 87-mile-an-hour fastball. Pedro Martinez. A change upstairs. 2-1. Pedro will throw a simulated game in batting practice on Thursday. And then we'll see what happens from there. His workouts have gone well. Chased the ball in the dirt. There's that splitter. 2-2.
Oh, this has been remarkable pitching by Nomo.
Unbelievable.
Runners at first and third, and you have Martinez, Olerud, and Boone coming to the plate. That's got the fans on their feet.
Outside. 3-2. I'm looking for another change here.
You're liable to get it. You're right.
Here's a 3-2. It's a change, and he popped him up outside of first, and it is playable. And into the dugout goes Hillenbrand and hangs on to it. You just saw some fabulous major league pitching by Hideo Nomo. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left out there in scoring position. Edgar takes strike 3. John Olerud swings at strike 3, and Brett Boone pops up. Hillenbrand goes right into the dugout to get the baseball to retire the side. Some kind of an inning.
And welcome back to historic Fenway Park in Boston as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Mariners lead the Red Sox by a score of 2-1. Hi again, everybody. Rick Riz along with Dave Valley, and both starters have worked out of jams in this one, Val.
Well, we've seen Jamie really come through when he needed it, getting some big tough outs earlier in the ball game to keep the score down.
Garciaparra, a ground ball to short. Carlos Guillen is there. 1 pitch and 1 away for the Red Sox here in the 5th. An easy play for Carlos Guillen. Jamie Moyer got out of a jam in the 3rd inning with runners on at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. He has thrown 58 pitches to this point in the game. And then Hideo Nomo had runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, and he got out of that jam. Here's 3rd baseman Chris Steins. Steins was a big second out for Jamie in that 3rd inning. With runners at 2nd and 3rd and only 1 out, Steins hit a hot one-hopper right back at Jamie Moyer and made a fine play to get Steins for out number 2.
Well, and it's so important for a pitcher to be able to field his position and help himself out defensively. We've seen Jamie do that both fielding and also covering first base.
An easy pop up to Brett Boone at second. So 2 outs for the Red Sox here in the 5th. Well, friends, don't miss your chance to catch Mariners baseball at Safeco Field. Seats are still available as the Mariners take on the Angels in a 3-game series beginning September the 18th. And don't forget, the series also includes a U.S. Bank Mariner matinee presented by the Puget Sound Business Journal, September the 20th, with a special start time of 3:35. Get your tickets now at SeattleMariners.com. Here's center fielder Carl Everett. Tried to call his shot back in the 1st inning after he took a shot from Jamie Moyer.
It didn't quite
Wasn't
get
that
there.
unusual?
Didn't quite get there.
Jamie hit him in the 1st inning. They exchange some words in the 1st inning. On his way toward the first base bag, he pointed out the right field. There's a fly ball deep to left field. McLemore going back, and this one is in the net to left field. So Carl Everett with an opposite field home run off of Jamie Moyer to tie the game at 2-2. And he keeps just staring at Jamie Moyer on his way around the bases. Another glance at Moyer.
Oh, that's just, you know what? That is so ridiculous. Man. That is absolutely ridiculous and classless by Carl Everett. Unbelievable.
On his way around the bases, his 13th home run of the year, just kept looking at Jamie Moyer.
Unbelievable.
Manny, a swing and a miss as the bat goes sailing out of his hands into the box seats on the third base side. 0-1 the count on Manny Ramirez.
I'll tell you what, Carl Everett is an embarrassment to the game of baseball after watching that junk. That just angers me, watching something like that from Carl Everett. I don't even want to watch it. Unbelievable.
Opposite field home run. Game tied at 2. Manny Ramirez 0 for 2 tonight. Manny has popped up to short, and Jamie struck him out his last time up in the 4th inning. Outside with a fastball for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to count.
This is a guy you just have to be so careful to. Manny Ramirez, one of the most potent offensive players in the game of baseball today.
Goes inside and misses with a pitch for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Manny's had a lot of success off of Moyer, a .419 hitter with 6 home runs. But tonight, Jamie Moyer has taken care of Manny twice.
Jamie pitched him very tough in his last at-bat, striking him out on a changeup on the inside corner.
That's inside, ball 3, 3-1.
It was a very similar pitch to the pitch that he struck him out on. Made Manny Ramirez do a full 360 as he was trying to get out of the way. That changeup came back over the inside corner for strike 3.
Strike called at the knees on the outside corner. Ramirez heading out of the box toward first base, but home plate umpire Mark Hirschbeck says no, come on back. The count is now 3-2.
That's that pitch that we've seen so often from Jamie. A little cutter. He starts it off the plate, and watch how it just comes right back on the outside part. That one may have been a little bit further off the plate than usual.
Backdoor cutter or slider. 3-2. Swung on, and he pops it up behind home plate. Dan Wilson fires the mask away, might have a play, and he does. Leans back and he makes the catch. Goes down, but he stays with it, and that will retire the side. But the Red Sox get 1 run on the opposite field homer by Carl Everett. After 5 innings of play, Mariners and the Red Sox are tied at 2. Well, the game is tied at 2 apiece as we go to the top half of the 6th inning. Let's take a look at the home run leaders, brought to you by Home Depot. And how about the best home run duos in baseball this year? And there's Barry Bonds and Rich Aurelia with a combined total of 74. Jim Thome and Juan Gonzalez from the Cleveland Indians at 67. Luis Gonzalez, Reggie Sanders, Todd Helton, Larry Walker.
Some boys doing some damage out there on the West Coast. Barry Bonds already with 50 home runs, and Rich Aurelia, the National League starting shortstop, having a tremendous year.
Well, we go to the top half of the 6th inning. We've got a new pitcher for the Red Sox. Right-hander Rich Garces on in relief.
Garces has appeared in 44 games with a 3-1 record. This is a guy that Jimmy Williams has been able to go to get the job done. The opponents hitting only .200. Garces has given up 4 home runs. Hard-throwing right-hander's got the big 12-6 curveball.
Mike Cameron will lead things off. Mike had a 2-run homer back in the second off of starter Hideo Nomo. First pitch strike on 1. Are you surprised with this move right here?
I'm a little surprised. I thought Nomo was throwing the ball very well. He fought himself out of some tough situations, but was having to lean on that split finger. I don't know if he was having some problems with that callus that made him come out of the ball game in his last start.
That's the only thing I can think of right now, is that he's having a problem with that callus on his thumb. So here's Garces on in relief. A little foul to the right side of home plate, and the count is 0-2 on Mike Cameron. Mariners had a chance to get to Nomo, but couldn't score in the 5th inning. They had runners at second and third with 1 out.
Mike Cameron with that big home run early in the ball game.
Breaking ball, strike 3 called in the outside corner, says Mark Hirschbeck, and Mike thought the pitch was outside, but it's going to be strike 3 and a strikeout for Garces, 1 away. Let's take a look at it.
The ball looks like it comes in high enough, as you saw it come across the thigh of Mike Cameron. Garces has a lot of confidence in that breaking ball, and he's going to throw it and use it as often as he possibly can.
Here's shortstop Carlos Guillen. Carlos is 0 for 2. Fastball, strike 0-1. He had a big hit on Sunday, a pinch hit double against the White Sox down the left field line in the bottom of the 8th inning. Eventually would score the game-winning run on a sacrifice fly by John Olerud. Mariners came away with a 2-1 win against Chicago. Ground ball to the shortstop, Nomar Garciaparra. 2 outs for the Mariners here in the 6th.
You know, Jimmy Williams is liking seeing number 5 out there at shortstop after not having him in that lineup all year long.
Number 25.
2-time American League batting champion, the American League Rookie of the Year back in 1997. Garciaparra had the surgery on opening day. And somehow the Boston Red Sox and Jimmy Williams have been able to stay very much in the race in the East, just 3 back of the Yankees.
Well, I think that's what's the amazing part, is without Garciaparra, Jason Varitek has gone down recently. Pedro Martinez, their horse of their pitching staff. And yet Jimmy Williams still has these guys in the hunt for the wild card.
David Bell, a big swing and a miss, and it's 1-1 on David. And there's a look at Pedro.
Jimmy Williams told me Pedro will be throwing a simulated game on Thursday, and then depending on how well that goes, he could possibly get activated.
And he doesn't want to go down to the minor leagues in a rehab. He says, hey, when I feel better, I want to start up here. High, ball 2, 2-1 on Bell. Speaking of rehabs, Jay Buhner played in his first game last night as the designated hitter. David Cohn right there will get a start on Thursday. Excuse me, Brett Saberhagen. And the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes on David Bell. But talking about Jay Buhner, Jay was 0 for 4 last night down in Tacoma in his first rehab start. DH last night and again tonight. Ground ball, diving, stopped by Lansing. What a play. Mike Lansing robbing David Bell of a base hit. And that's it for the Mariners in the 6th. And after 5.5 innings of play, Mariners 2, the Red Sox 2. Well, time now for the Geico Direct moment. Geico Direct, the sensible alternative. Big series between the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Indians. And here's a quote from Minnesota manager Tom Kelly. If we don't bring our A game with us, we don't have a chance. It doesn't matter if we're playing the Indians, Red Sox, Blue Sox, Yellow Sox, or the team down the street playing in the Little League field. And you know what? He's right about that.
I've got to agree with Tom right there.
Bottom half of the 6th inning, Mariners and the Red Sox are tied at 2-2. Designated hitter Dante Bichette will lead things off for Boston. Popped up into center on the first pitch. Mike Cameron is right there, and he's got it. One pitch, one away for the Red Sox.
That's what Jamie does so well. He gets those hitters out on the front foot, and Dante Bichette just having to wave at that ball as he goes out towards center field. But Jamie just has that knack of when to take a little bit extra off, when to put a little bit more on, when to come inside to keep those hitters honest.
Here's second baseman Mike Lansing. Lansing is 1 for 2 with a single. Good pitch right on the outside corner at the knees. This guy's one of the best competitors I've seen.
Well, you look at what Jamie Moyer has done since coming over to the Seattle Mariners. What an incredible acquisition Jamie was when the Mariners made that trade with the Boston Red Sox.
July 30th, 1996. One of the best deals in the history of this franchise. Right now, Jamie with 78 wins with the Mariners, number 2 on the all-time win list behind Randy Johnson, who has 130. At the time of the trade, he was 7-1 for Boston in 23 games, 10 as a starter, and then came over in that deal for Darren Bragg. 2-2 on Lansing.
Jamie has a third best winning percentage in the majors from 1996 to 2001. And he trails only Pedro Martinez and Greg Maddux over that span. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's something.
This is a guy who probably does not get the credit that he most certainly deserves for doing what he has done. We have been able to enjoy it in Seattle, watching him compete every 5 days. He's a guy who takes that ball from Lou Piniella. He's ready to come out and compete. One of the most prepared pitchers you will ever find in the major leagues.
Jamie, a master of changing speeds and location. Fly ball into left field. McLemore is there, and Mark makes the catch, and that's out number 2 for the Red Sox here in the 6th.
Yeah, we're just talking about Jamie knowing when to come inside here on Mike Lansing. Jamie uses that little cutter to get in on the hands of Mike Lansing, and Lansing can do nothing but hit a nice soft fly ball out to left field.
Here's first baseman Shea Hillenbrand, who knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly to center field in the 4th inning. 2-2 tied, bottom of the 6th. Hillenbrand has also grounded out to Carlos Guillen at short. But Jamie Moyer getting better with age since joining the Mariners. 78-39 record, and that's from ages 35 to 38.
Jamie shows you no signs of slowing up either.
None whatsoever. And that just tells you what this guy has inside about his work ethic, and how he gets prepared for a ball game and his routine between starts.
I think you can find that with veteran players. They start realizing what they need to do to be ready to compete.
It'll pop up into shallow right field down the line. A base hit for Hillenbrand. Up for the ball is Ichiro. So 1 on for Boston with 2 away. Say, friends, down the stretch they come. It's the annual Long Acres Mile, and we've got it live Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock on Fox Sports Net. Among those nominated are Captain Steve, Handy and Bold, and Kig Kanabatic. Looks like a great field Sunday at 4 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Net. One on, 2 outs, 2-2 tie, and here's right fielder Trot Nixon. almost went into a home run trot back in the third when Mike Cameron made the catch deep in right center field by the Boston bullpen. Fly ball right field. Ichiro comes up. He's there. And he's got it for out number 3. No runs, a hit, and a man left on. After 6 innings of play, Mariners and the Red Sox are tied at 2. Seattle Mariners baseball is brought to you by Henry Weinhardt's Beer Means More Here. By Les Schwab, our business is earning your trust. By Car Toys. Shopping for car stereos and wireless phones is easy. When you go to Car Toys, call 1-888-CAR-TOYS. And by Money Tree, your cash solution. Mariners and the Red Sox are tied at 2 apiece. Top half of the 7th inning, the Mariners will send up catcher Dan Wilson. Then back to the top of the order, Ichiro and left fielder Mark McLemore. Rich Garces took over in relief to start the 6th inning for Hideo Nomo. Up high, ball 1. One and 1 the count.
That curveball is the go-to pitch for Rich Garces. So one he's going to be able to throw even when he's behind in the count.
Breaking ball, a little pop up down the right field line on the run, and not getting to it is Nixon, but it's a foul ball, and the count is 1-2 on Dan Wilson. Right off the end of the bat. Strike 3 called in the inside corner with a fastball. 1 out for the Mariners here in the 7th inning.
Danny not real pleased with that call by Mark Hirschbeck.
Number 51, the right fielder.
Here's Ichiro.
Suzuki.
Single into right field in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 3. Extended his hitting streak to 11 games. And he leads the league in base hits with 175. Up and away. Ball 1.
That last base hit that Ichiro got off of Hideo Nomo was a great pitch from Nomo. Good split finger down and away. And Ichiro, as we have seen, just waved that magical wand. Hit that ball off the end of the bat down the right field line.
Fouled up the first base line, and the count goes to 1-1 on Ichiro.
Ichiro just has that uncanny ability to be able to put the bat on the ball. Regardless of what the pitcher throws, he finds a way to put the bat on the ball, fouling off pitch after pitch, fouling off some very difficult pitches until that pitcher makes that mistake.
Outside for ball 2, 2-1. You've got Steins playing in close over at third base to take away the bunt hit. A lot of times you'll see Ichiro just rifle one right by a third baseman playing up that close. Steins is a step or 2 on the infield grass. There's a foul ball on a play behind the plate, and the count is even on Ichiro at 2-2.
I think that's one of the things that makes him so amazing is that he seems as if he gets up to the plate and decides, okay, here's where I want to hit the ball. And then it has the ability to execute his plan when he gets up in that box.
Now with 2 strikes, you see Steins move back over at third base. One out, nobody on. Tied at 2 here in the 7th. Chopper past the mound in front of the bag at second. Tough play. Garciaparra, forget about it. No throw. Holy smoke. Ichiro was flying up that line by the time Garciaparra got to the ball in front of second base. He looked up and said, I don't have a shot.
Amazing. What an incredible jump out of the box. This ball bounces once. It bounces twice.
The left fielder.
Goes in the glove of Nomar Garciaparra, and he doesn't even bother throwing the ball. But he just gets such a great jump. He's at full speed after 2 strides. Ichiro knows that he's got this ball beat out all the way. Oh, to be able to run like that, Rico.
Run like the wind. 1 on and 1 away. Go ahead, run over at first base. Here's Mark McLemore. Mac is 1 for 3 with the single. And look, they were getting ready to call for a pitch out, and Garces came in with a pitch. And now the catcher, Doug Mirabelli, goes out and says, hey, we're looking for a pitch out there, buddy.
Well, Garces certainly missed that call because Mirabelli was getting ready to move way outside into the right-hander's batter's box. Garces with the big high leg kick threw that pitch right out over the plate.
Ichiro, 38 steals.
With Ichiro on first base, Garces made no move to try to use a slide step or quicken up his delivery.
Fastball is up and away on McLemore. Ball 2, 2-0. One of the first things Lou Piniella wants to find out when he goes into a new season, a new city, and a new series. Can you run on the catcher? And there goes Ichiro. Swing and a miss. Throw down a second. Ichiro slides. He is safe. Stolen base number 39 for Ichiro.
Ichiro with that good jump off of Rich Garces. There was no doubt that he was going to look picking a spot to pick his pitch. But watch the big high leg kick of Garces. Ichiro is off and running. Again, he has the ability to get to full speed after 2 strides. But with that big high leg kick, Doug Mirabelli has no chance to get Ichiro at second base.
Go ahead run on in scoring position. Up and away. Ball 3, 3-1. And kids, this is a special note for you kids who play baseball. You see Ichiro always sliding into second base feet first. You never see Ichiro go in head first when he steals second or third.
Well, there's just more opportunity for injuring your shoulder, your fingers, your wrists as you dive head first.
Outside for ball 4. So McLemore with a walk. First walk given up by Rich Garces in relief. 2 on with only 1 out for designated hitter Edgar Martinez. Say, friends, coming up tonight at 10 o'clock on the Northwest Sports Report, an update from Tacoma concerning Jay Buhner, his first game on a rehab assignment last night. He was 0 for 4, but it was just good to see Jay back in uniform and playing for the Tacoma Rainiers. The Fox Focus, baseball's Kangaroo Court, always a lot of fun with these guys, and Kangaroo Court and Seahawks Camp Report coming up. All that and more tonight at 10 p.m. on the Northwest Sports Report. Jay Buhner, the DH last night and again tonight.
Number 11.
Here's Edgar.
The designated hitter.
Well, Rick
Edgar
Ichiro is seeing
Martinez.
Rich Garces' move and that big high leg kick. Now you got the 2 best base stealers on first and second base. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Lou put both of these guys in motion. With the right-handed hitter Edgar Martinez up at the plate, it'll be a tougher throw for Doug Mirabelli.
Yeah, Mac with a big lead at first base. A strike on Edgar, 0-1. First, look at first baseman Shea Hillenbrand playing in behind the runner and off the line.
Well, and one of the reasons for that is they know that Edgar can hit the ball to the right side. Hillenbrand wanting to be able to cover as much territory as he can over at first base.
Up and in as Edgar turns away from ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. All tied at 2. Here in the 7th inning, go ahead run on at second, Ichiro. Inside with a fastball, ball 2, 2-1. Edgar with a single to left field in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2.
Where you may see Edgar sitting on that breaking pitch.
Ground ball to short. Garciaparra. He'll go to second for one. The relay to first in time for the double play. They get McLemore at second and double up Edgar at first base to retire the side. We go to the bottom half of the seventh, still tied. Mariners 2 and the Red Sox 2. Today's seventh inning stretch is brought to you by today's manufactured homes, built for living, built for life. What a game here at Fenway Park in Boston. The Mariners and the Red Sox are tied at 2-2. Jamie Moyer will take a look at Doug Mirabelli, then Nomar Garciaparra and Chris Steins. Mirabelli 0 for 1 tonight, has walked. He's also grounded out to David Bell at third. Oh and 1. In the air to right field, an easy play for Ichiro. He's got it. One out for Boston. That'll bring up shortstop Nomar Garciaparra.
Number 5.
Garciaparra came off the DL on July the 29th. He made only 4 rehab starts at AAA Pawtucket. And the surgery on his right wrist on opening day, April the 2nd. I think that was a bitter pill for the fans here in New England to swallow, knowing that Garciaparra wouldn't be with the ball club on opening day and wouldn't be around for a while. Look at that hot zone. All red.
It must be nice when you step up into the box when you got no matter where you throw it, you're hitting the ball right on the button.
That's where you throw it outside. If you walk him, at least you know where he is.
Well, that's the one thing about Nomar Garciaparra, is that he's a very aggressive hitter. He's not real patient. I don't think he's ever seen a pitch that he doesn't like. He's one of the best bad pitch hitters in the game of baseball, him and Ivan Rodriguez.
He's the most nervous hitter I've ever seen up there, constantly moving, tapping those toes as he takes a breaking ball outside, ball 2, 2 and 1. After every pitch, readjusts those batting gloves, goes through the same routine, kick, 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 kick. But it works for him big time. Up high, ball 3, 3 and 1.
Well, Garciaparra, like so many of the great players, has a routine, and when he does that routine, it makes him feel like he's prepared. We've seen Edgar Martinez have his pregame routine. These Wade Boggs, a former Red Sox player, has certain routines that he stuck to.
Garciaparra with a walk, and that's only the second walk given up by Jamie Moyer tonight. 1 on, 1 away. It looks like we're going to get some activity down in the bullpen.
Number 12, the third baseman, Chris Steins.
Here's third baseman Chris Steins as you take a look at Jeff Nelson beginning to warm up. Steins 0 for 3. Fly to center, bounce back to Jamie, and also popped up to Buhner at second. Runner goes, swinging a fly ball into center field. Cameron is there to make the catch, 2 away, and on the play, Garciaparra took off for second, turns around, and he heads on back to first base. Brings up center fielder Carl Everett.
That certainly didn't look like it was a hit and run on Steins. Nomar Garciaparra looked like he got a good jump.
Timeout is called. Pitching coach Brian Price out to the mound to join a conversation between Dan Wilson and Jamie Moyer. Carl Everett, his last time up, Dave, hit an opposite field home run to left. His 13th home run of the year that tied the game at 2-2. Moyer and Carl Everett had some words back in the first inning when Everett was hit by a pitch. In the third, he grounded out to David Bell at third base. Bell made a fantastic play with 2 on in scoring position to retire Everett and the Red Sox in the third. Then the home run in the bottom of the 5th inning. Even the game at 2 apiece.
Looked like Jamie Moyer was waiting for Mark Hirschbeck to come on out because it looked like he wanted to say some things to Hirschbeck. The one thing is, early in the ball game, after Everett got hit on a pitch that was about 4 inches off the plate on the inside part, it was only Carl Everett who was having words. Jamie Moyer just was reaching back wanting to get the ball, but it was Carl Everett who was chirping all the way down to first base and then continued to chirp once he was on first base.
Then he stared at Jamie around the bases. Low and outside, ball 1. Garciaparra at first base with 2 outs. Everett is right on the plate. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes.
One of the things you notice here at Fenway Park at home plate, when they put the batter's box in, they don't put the inside line down on the inside part of the box.
If they did, he'd be out of it. Out of the box. Popped up. Third baseman David Bell in behind the bag. He's there and he makes the catch, and that's out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left on. And after 7 innings of play, still tied. Mariners 2 and the Red Sox 2. Seattle Mariners baseball is brought to you by Napa. Napa Auto Parts. Get it done right the first time. Go see the Napa pros today. By Geico Direct, the sensible alternative. By Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest lasting trucks on the road. By 76. Fill up with 76 Pro Power. Available at 76 and participating Circle K locations. And by Original Coors. Nothing beats an original. Game tied at 2. Top half of the 8th inning on a beautiful night here in Boston. Jamie Moyer's going all the way.
I was going to say it's a chilly night.
Well, the air conditioning is on in here. It's beautiful out there, Val. We've got a new pitcher for the Red Sox. Uget Urbina, recently acquired by Boston from the Montreal Expos, will take over in relief.
Urbina has been in 5 games for the Boston Red Sox since being acquired from Montreal via trade on July 31st. Has yet to give up a earned run in those 4 1/3 innings as a Red Sox. This young man possesses a very good fastball, split finger, and slider. With the Montreal Expos, he was 2-1 with a 4.24 ERA with 15 saves.
Well, here's John Olerud to face Urbina. Faced him a few years ago when John was with the Mets, and he takes outside, ball 1. So there's a couple of guys who know Urbina, Olerud, and the guy on deck, Brett Boone. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Starting pitcher Hideo Nomo went 5 innings and gave up 2 runs on 5 hits. The big hit, a 2-run home run by Mike Cameron back in the 2nd inning. Line drive into left center field, a base hit as it skips on by Manny Ramirez. Olerud heading for second. The throw is going to be cut off by Garciaparra, and John Olerud has a leadoff double here in the 8th.
John Olerud, the sweet swing from the left side. Johnny gets a fastball out over the plate from Urbina and just drives this ball into left center. This ball is laced as it takes 2 hops before it hits the green monster. Big leadoff double for John Olerud.
Right away, the go-ahead run is on at second base. Brings up Brett Boone.
Well, we've seen Lou use Brett Boone to bunt in the past.
Yeah.
Here in the top of the 8th inning, we'll see what Lou has in mind.
Just 2 games ago against Chicago in a 4-3 win, Boone with a sacrifice to get Olerud to third after a leadoff double. Tries it again. Bunts it down the first base side. Picked up by Urbina. And the throw to first is in time to get Boone. So the sacrifice will go 1-3. And out of the play, Olerud goes to third. So Brett Boone advances the runner with a sacrifice bunt.
Boone being real careful of trying to get this ball down. A ball comes up high off of the bat. But Booney's got the good direction, deciding early on what side of the field he wants to bunt it to.
Now the infield has to come in close for it to play at the plate. Boone back to the dugout. Congratulations from Lou and bench coach John McLaren. Here's center fielder Mike Cameron.
But you know, Rick, that's one of the reasons why this team has won all year long. You've got the RBI leader in the American League, gets up there, and he bunts the guy over.
Cameron takes a fastball inside for ball one. It's all about the team.
That's right. There's a selflessness to this ball club that is so unique from all of the years that I've been involved in the game of baseball. A guy like Brett Boone knowing how to play the game, knowing what needs to get done, and does it.
This guy cracks me up too. You know he's saying something funny right there to Tom Lampkin. Inside on Mike Cameron, ball 2-0. These guys are having fun.
No doubt about it. Booney's probably looking and pointing at Lampkin and say, hey, sorry about that perfect bunt, baby.
Tom probably looked at him and said, hey, it wasn't pretty, but you got the job done. It landed perfectly. Up and in, ball 3-0, and Urbina is way behind Mike Cameron. Doing all the little things right. John Olerud on at third, the go-ahead run. 3-0, fouled it away. 3-1 on Cameron. The home run by Mike back in the second was his 18th of the year. He now has 76 runs batted in.
Just another great year from Mike Cameron.
Full count, 3-2.
Urbina coming after Cammy with a good slider on the outside part of the plate. Cammy's had two good swings though. One off the first fastball, 3-0 count, right there on that 3-1 slider.
We've seen the Red Sox pitchers tonight behind in the count. 3-1, 3-2, throw splitters and sliders.
Coming back with another slider right here.
Ground ball to third. Steins makes the stop, toss across to get Mike Cameron 2 away, and Olerud had to stay put at third base. Brings up shortstop Carlos Guillen. Well, friends, coming up after the game, stay tuned for Mariners warm-up. Our own Brad Adam is at the ballpark here, bringing you in-depth analysis and highlights from tonight's game, interviews from players, and get caught up on all the scores from around the league. Coming up next on Fox Sports Net. We've got a Mariner fan here at Fenway Park tonight, a few of them. Here's shortstop Carlos Guillen with 2 outs and Olerud at third.
Carlos Guillen looking to drive in a big run here with 2 outs.
0-1.
Talked about what the Mariners have done all year to have the record that they do, and this is a situation where they have come through time and time again. Big 2-out knock.
Outside, ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Mariners are the #2 hitting ball club in the league. #1 in runs scored as you take a look at Jeff Nelson.
Coach Matty Sinatro to Jeff Nelson's right.
2-1. Fouled away by Carlos, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Packed house here at Fenway Park, starting to get on their feet. Up and away, ball 3, full count, 3-2. And David Bell is due up next. If Carlos can get aboard here in the 8th inning. A chance to drive in a run, 2 outs. There's down Olerud down at third base in a 2-2 tie. Ground ball right to the first baseman. Shea Hillebrand takes it to the bag for the unassisted putout, and Uget Urbina works out of a jam. No runs, a hit, and a man stranded at third base. We go to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 2. Well, the Mariners and the Boston Red Sox battle to a 2-2 tie as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning, and a new pitcher for the Mariners will take over. Big right-hander Jeff Nelson replaces Jamie Moyer. Look what these guys have done against first batters they've faced this year. Brought to you by the Washington Forest Protection Association. There's Nelly. First batters are hitting just 0-45 against Jeff, and then look at that. Pontiac was right there, Rhodes and Sasaki, and number 2 Mariano Rivera. Val.
Well, that's such a big stat because typically when these guys come in, it's in crunch time. It's a tough situation. There's runners in scoring position, and Lou knows that these guys are coming in and getting that first out, which is so important. Jeff Nelson's pitched in 52 games. He's thrown 47 in the 3rd innings and given up only 1 home run. He has 70 strikeouts in 47 innings.
He'll face Manny Ramirez, Dante Bichette, and Mike Lansing. So Jamie Moyer has pitched very well tonight. Leaves after 7 and will come away with a no decision in a 2-2 tie. This ball game belongs to Jeff Nelson. Fly ball deep to center. Cameron going back. Leaps up, and it's off the wall. Backing up is Ichiro. Manny Ramirez to second with a leadoff double. The throw in is going to be cut off by Guillen. Off the wall and straight away center field. Manny Ramirez greets Jeff Nelson into the ball game with an extra base hit.
Manny Ramirez is just so strong, but here's you see Mike Cameron. Cammy making every effort to try to get to this ball. This is such a tough play because it's right at him, and Cammy's having to run straight back to that center field wall, which comes up quick on him. Ichiro doing a great job of backing up and keeping Manny Ramirez at second base, holding him to a double.
So Ramirez out at second, brings up designated hitter Dante Bichette. Bichette is 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored.
Bichette has yet to have a sacrifice bunt all year long, so be looking for him to be swinging.
Fouls it back on a first pitch slider from Jeff Nelson. 0-1. Well, these guys come out of the bullpen, Val. They are strikeout pitchers. They can get out of jams. Jeff Nelson with his fastball and his slider. Rhodes with his fastball and slider. Sasaki his splitter. Check swing. 1-1. Jamie Moyer pitched his heart out tonight, Val. 7 innings. 88 pitches.
We see he gave up only 6 hits in those 7 innings. Jamie has always been very frugal with his pitch count, but just did a tremendous job getting out of some tough jams and keeping the Mariners right in that ballgame.
Jammed him, fouls it away on the first base side, and it's 1-2 on Bichette. Heck of a ball game tonight. Mariners had a 2-0 lead. Red Sox came back to tie it with 1 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th. As you take a look at the Sheriff warming up down in the bullpen. And also Derek Lowe, the Red Sox closer. One-two. Up and in all the way to the backstop, and that'll send Manny Ramirez to third on a wild pitch. A fastball that got away from Jeff Nelson, and the count goes to 2-2 on Bichette. And now the Red Sox have the go-ahead run only 90 feet away.
This ball looks like it just slips out of the hand of Jeff Nelson. Coming right out of the hand, that ball's way up and in on Dante Bichette. Danny Wilson, that ball just touching the top part of the webbing of his glove.
Now Lou Piniella has to play his infield up close for a play at the plate. Everybody in around the infield for Bichette. The count even on Dante at 2-2.
What you mentioned, Rick, about the ability of Jeff Nelson for a strikeout.
And he pops it up. Right side, Boone calling for it. He's there and he's got it, and there is out number 1. So a big first out with Manny Ramirez on at third base. Brings up second baseman Mike Lansing.
Number 3, the second baseman.
Lansing is 1 for 3 with a single to left field.
Well, if ever Jeff Nelson needed a strikeout, this would be the situation right here.
Because the infield still has to play up close with only 1 out. And Manny Ramirez on at third base. Jimmy Williams wouldn't squeeze, would he?
I don't think he would with Manny Ramirez running down on the third base side. Ramirez does not have real good speed.
A fake move to third base by Jeff Nelson.
Nelly was wanting to check, though.
Yeah.
Nelly was thinking. I like to see that, because that's telling me that Jeff Nelson's head is in the ball game. He's thinking about different situations.
Thinking about the possibility of a squeeze. Ball 1. Third base coach Gene Lamont going through the signs, and he had a talk with Lansing, and then went over and talked things over with Manny Ramirez, maybe just to get a strike with a pitch out, or but Nelly found out by just making a fake move to third. Popped up first base side. John Olerud's got a play, and he's got the ball 2 away. Holy smokes. Mike Lansing pops up with the go-ahead run at third base. Now there are 2 outs, and that'll bring up first baseman Shea Hillenbrand.
Just a huge out for Jeff Nelson. Nelly going right now after the Red Sox hitters with that good sinker, that good fastball that runs in on the hands. Take a look at the movement on this pitch. This ball just starts to bore in on the hands of Lansing. Lansing just fights it off and hits a little blooper down to Johnny Olerud.
John had plenty of time to get there and make the catch. So Lansing back in the dugout is out number 2. Ramirez on at third, and here is first baseman Shea Hillenbrand. Hillenbrand is 1 for 2. Jams him, broken bat, ground ball, charging Bell, top play, safe at first, run scores. David Bell made a great play. But Hillenbrand jammed, broken bat, infield single, scores Manny Ramirez from third, and the Red Sox have the lead 3-2. But what an effort by David Bell.
But Jeff Nelson comes after him again with a good hard fastball inside. David Bell making every effort to try to get Hillenbrand. Watch how hard David comes after this ball. This is no holds barred. Gets rid of it quick, falls after making the throw, and Hillenbrand just barely beats the throw down to first base.
A broken bat, infield single by Hillenbrand with 2 outs. Scores Manny Ramirez, and it is 3-2 Boston. Bottom of the 8th, and here's right fielder Trot Nixon. Sliders inside, ball 1. David Bell did everything possible to try to get Hillenbrand at first base. It was a close play.
Well, and Jeff Nelson made a great pitch on the inside part, breaking the bat of Hillenbrand. Hillenbrand just ends up hitting the ball in a perfect spot.
Ball 2 and no strikes on Trot Nixon, who was 1 for 3 with a single. Way inside, ball 3, 3-0 the count on Nixon.
Well, you just hate to see that after Nelly getting 2 big outs, making quality pitches.
Up and away for ball 4. So Trot Nixon with a walk. He's on at first. Hillenbrand down at second. 2 on, 2 away, and a big run in for Boston here in the 8th, and that'll bring up catcher Doug
28,
Mirabelli.
The catcher, Doug Mirabelli.
Mariners in the top of the 9th inning will send up David Bell, Dan Wilson, and Ichiro. Due up for the Mariners. Slider, a strike, 0-1. They'll face Derek Lowe in the top half of the 9th inning, the Red Sox closer. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Good slider by Jeff Nelson. Those last 2 sliders to Mirabelli really had some downward action. Typically we'll see Nelly's ball will be act like a frisbee and stay on plane and run away from that right-hander. But those last 2 had some really good sharp downward movement.
Like that one right there, and he strikes out Doug Mirabelli to end the inning. But the Red Sox get a run on a couple of base hits to take the lead. We go to the top of the 9th. Last try for the Mariners. Our score, the Red Sox 3, the Mariners 2, and here comes closer Derek Lowe into the ball game.
With those 8 losses already this season,
Got to get that sinker up.
Lowe, a sinker slider type guy, has appeared in 53 ball games. There's those 8 losses. He's given up 74 hits in 65 innings.
Low and outside, ball 2 from Derek Lowe. 2-1 on Bell.
He's not your typical closer because he doesn't have a lot of strikeouts. Derek Lowe's going to want guys to put the ball in play, hit his sinker on the ground.
At the knees with a sinker. 2-2 on David. Bell 1 for 3 tonight with a double. Way off the monster. Left center field. 11 home runs on the year for Bell. Fouled it away. Mirabelli, the catcher, could not hang on to it, and it's still 2-2 on David. Away again. Fastball in. Sinker. David just got a piece of it. Still 2-2. As we look at Pedro Martinez inside the Boston dugout. Stan Javier's on deck. Fouled away into the seats on the first base side. Still 2-2.
That last pitch was that sinker that you were talking about, Rick, wanting to get it up in the strike zone where it starts to flatten out.
Skipper Jimmy Williams trying to keep his ball club in 2 races, the East and the wild card race as well. 2 back in the wild card. And he did. He got a sinker up, and David Bell ripped it into left field. So the Mariners have the leadoff man aboard here in the 9th inning, representing the tying run. What an at-bat right there by David Bell. Singles to left field.
Tremendous job by David. David fouling off some really difficult sinkers down and in. This time he gets one above the belt and just laces a line drive down the left field line. Manny Ramirez playing a little bit over towards the corner, is able to cut that off. As we've got a pinch runner coming in for David Bell. Looks like Charles Gibson.
So Charles Gibson on at first base. The pinch run for David Bell. What a great at bat by Bell.
Now running for Bell.
3-2 Boston. But the Mariners have the tying run aboard in a hurry. And here is Stan Javier to pinch hit for catcher Dan Wilson. Javier, a .271 hitter. Against Derek Lowe, he is 2 for 7 with a home run. Close to third base, Steins. Here's a throw to first, and Gibson gets back.
So here's the decision for Lou Piniella. Do you send Charles Gibson? Derek Lowe is not real quick to home plate. Doug Mirabelli has not been throwing the ball well.
Ground ball up the middle into center field for a base hit. Gibson heading for third. Up with the ball is Carl Everett. A pinch hit single for Stan Javier. The Mariners have the tying run on at third, the go-ahead run on at first base, and nobody out here in the top half of the 9th. This club never, ever gives up.
Well, that's what you just got to love about Stan Javier, the old veteran. Stan knows how to get the job done late in the ball game. Coming in with a pinch hit and just laces one right back up the middle. Lou Piniella doesn't have to make any decisions. He just lets Charles Gibson run. Charles running like the wind from first to third.
And making sure he got in there with that head first slide. So now the Mariners have 2 on with nobody out. Pitching coach Joe Kerrigan out to the mound to have a talk with Derek Lowe. 2 great at bats here in the 9th inning. And the batter will be Ichiro, who has 2 hits tonight. 1 an infield single. He's 2 for 4, extending his hitting streak to 11 games, and he has over 30 infield hits on the year. And he's batting, just .476 with runners in scoring position.
This is the man the Mariners want up there right now. You know he's going to put the ball in play. He's not going to get doubled up on a ground ball. The only place you don't want Ichiro to hit the ball is to the third baseman.
Here's a look at the defense. Back up the middle are Garciaparra, the shortstop, Lansing, the second baseman. Hillenbrand, the first baseman, playing at the bag to keep Javier close. And there's Steins playing up close over at third base. 2 on and nobody out. Tying run at third. 3-2 Boston. 0-1. Ichiro 1 for 3 against Derek Lowe this year. And he's now batting .481 with runners in scoring position. It was .476 prior to the game. Strike 2 called on the inside corner. Ichiro backed away. Thought it was going to be ball 1, but it's now 0-2.
Well, he certainly did not like that call by Mark Hirschbeck. That ball didn't look like it was coming back over. But you know, with a first and third situation right here, with the trouble that the Red Sox have been having throwing out base runners, I don't think Doug Mirabelli would actually throw the ball down to second base. I think he's going to be more concerned about Charles Gibson over at third.
Coming into this series 4 for his last 24 with Boston. Inside, and that almost nicked the shoulder of Ichiro. He spun away from ball 1. 1-2. This guy is so calm at home plate. Poise, knows exactly what he wants to do. Here's the tying run at third. Gibson throw to first base, and Javier gets back. Great ball game tonight here at Fenway, folks. Opening game of the series. There goes Javier.
Ground ball through the left side. A base hit. Game is tied. Gibson scores. Javier on to third. Ichiro with an RBI single. Lou Piniella sending Javier. Garciaparra goes to cover the second base bag. Opens up the left side, and Ichiro has an RBI single. Game is tied at 3. What an at-bat.
Well, those are some of the options that Ichiro gives Lou Piniella with great bat control. You know Ichiro's going to put the ball in play. So he sends Stan Javier. This ball is about 2 inches off the ground. Ichiro slaps it in the hole. Garciaparra is going over to cover second base. That opens up the hole right there.
And Gibson, the pinch runner, scores from third, and the game is tied at 3. And now, by sending Javier with a base hit to left field, he gets around to third base.
Well, now you got that same situation. First and third, you got Ichiro over at first base. Again, Derek Lowe is slow to the plate.
And McLemore can handle a bat. Mark is 1 for 3 tonight with a single. There's the go-ahead run at third now. In Stan Javier. Ichiro, great speed over at first base. So 3 singles, 1 run in, and the game is tied at 3. Fans in the bleachers throw some debris onto the warning track out there in center field, picked up by a member of the grounds crew, so we have a little delay, and now McLemore is set to go to work against Derek Lowe. But here comes Boston manager Jimmy Williams out of the dugout. A right-hander, looks like Rod Beck warming up down in the bullpen. Or is it a lefty?
Yeah, he's signaling for the left-hander.
So that's it for Derek Lowe. 3 singles off of Lowe, and the Mariners have tied the game. And this looks like Casey Fossum. I just went to the Bo Sox luncheon this afternoon with this young man along with Ryan Franklin. So here comes Casey Fossum on in relief to take over with 2 on and nobody out, in the game tied at 3. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Quest. Quest, ride the light. Game tied at 3. Don't go away. We'll be back after this timeout. Well, slender left-hander Casey Fossum on in relief. This pitching change brought to you by Jiffy Lube. If it's been over 3,000 miles since your last oil change, go to Jiffy Lube. Here is young Mr. Fossum.
Casey Fossum, kind of a sidearm slinger from the left side. He's got a big sweeping curveball and a fastball that runs away from the right-hander. He's appeared in 5 games with a 1-0 record and a 1.04 ERA. Jimmy Williams making Mark McLemore switch over to the right side by bringing in Fossum from the left side.
Stan Javier, the go-ahead run on at third base. Ichiro at first base, nobody out. And here's Mark McLemore. And while Fossum was warming up, manager Lou Piniella came out of the dugout to have a talk with Mark McLemore. Would he squeeze? Not on the first pitch, and Mark takes low. Ball 1. There's a look at Stan Javier at third, who had a pinch hit single, went to third on the base hit, the RBI single by Ichiro. Ichiro at first.
You see Johnny Moses talking to Ichiro. Johnny Moses, a good base runner in his time, trying to add some things to Ichiro, what to pick up, what to look for.
Inside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Casey Fossum making the jump from Double-A Trenton to the major leagues this year with Boston.
And Fossum just being called up, there's not a lot of information as a base runner, what type of moves that he has, what do you want to key off of.
Fastball for a strike, 2-1. Only his 6th appearance in the big leagues. Kazuhiro Sasaki getting ready down to the bullpen. We've got a 3-3 tie. Mariners with an opportunity to jump on top. Fouled away on the third base side, and the count is even on McLemore at 2 balls and 2 strikes. McLemore again checking in with third base coach Dave Myers. Mariners didn't waste any time to tie it up here in the 9th inning with a leadoff single by David Bell. Inside, ball 3, full count, 3-2 on McLemore. And there he is on deck. Designated hitter Edgar Martinez. Everybody up close around the Boston infield. Low and outside for ball 4, so McLemore draws a walk, and the Mariners have the bases loaded with nobody out. So Casey Fossum walks McLemore to load him up for Edgar Martinez. Javier at third. Ichiro's on at second base. McLemore is on at first.
Edgar Martinez.
Tough spot for any pitcher, especially a young pitcher just up from AA ball Trenton. And he faces one of the best hitters in the game in Edgar Martinez.
Jimmy Williams has got Rod Beck ready down in the Red Sox bullpen. Maybe he's betting that Edgar, because he doesn't know this young left-hander.
Edgar takes the strike, 0-1, so he leaves the young left-hander in there to face one of the best right-handed bats in all of baseball in Edgar.
Fossum starting Edgar off with that big curveball.
Fly ball, shallow center field. Coming in, Carl Everett is there, and he makes the catch, and the runners stay. The throw to the plate is cut off by Hillenbrand, the first baseman. One out for the Mariners here in the 9th inning. That'll bring up first baseman John Olerud.
Number 5, the
So
first
a
baseman,
shallow fly ball to center, and
John
Stan Javier had to
Olerud.
stay at third. Here's John, who is 1 for 3 with a double to left field. Javier, the go-ahead run. Ichiro on at second. Over there at first base, Mark McLemore. 0-1. Casey Fossum made his major league debut July the 28th in a game against the White Sox. Oh, 2. Breaking ball down and away.
He's got a good one. Fossum starting that ball off on the inside part of the plate. He's got some good action down and away from John Olerud. John right now just looking to drive the ball to the outfield. Something deep enough for Stan Javier to score on.
Ground ball up the first baseline. Baseline. Hillenbrand to home. Back to first. Double play. Hillenbrand to Mirabelli. Back to Hillenbrand. A 3-2-3 double play. Mariners get 1 run to tie it up as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. After 8, well, the Mariners tie up the ball game at 3-3 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. But how about this play turned in by Hillenbrand at first base? This is our Pennzoil protection play brought to you by Pennzoil. Bases loaded, 1 out. John Olerud is up there against Casey Fossum, and hits this ground ball up the line to Hillenbrand, who comes home to Mirabelli, the catcher. Back to Hillenbrand for a 3-2-3 double play to win the inning.
Well, you certainly don't see this play too often as John pulls that ball right down the line to Hillenbrand. Mirabelli gets off a quick snap throw to first base to complete the play.
Well, we have some defensive changes for the Mariners. Mark McLemore, who was in left field, is now playing third base for David Bell. Lifted for the pinch runner, Gibson. The pinch runner stays in the ball game to play left field for McLemore. And Tom Lampkin is now behind home plate catching for Dan Wilson. Leading off the bottom of the 9th inning is Nomar Garciaparra. 3-3 tie, bottom of the 9th. Garciaparra tonight 1 for 3 with a double. Up and in, ball 1. He'll be followed by Chris Steins, the third baseman, and then center fielder Carl Everett. One the count. Garciaparra going through that routine time and time again. The same thing every time after every pitch. Fouled away up the third base side. 1-2 on Garciaparra. Led the league in hitting last year, batting .372, his second American League batting title. Off the end of the bat, pops it up into shallow right center. Coming in by Cameron, calling for it, and he makes the catch. 1 out for the Red Sox here in the 9th. Bottom of the 9th inning, tied at 3. Mariners tied it up in an RBI single to left field by Ichiro.
Number 12.
Scoring pinch runner Charles Gibson, but David Bell had a fantastic at bat leading off the 9th with a single down the left field line. Here's Chris Steins, who's 0 for 4. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. The appeal down to the first base umpire, Ron Copa, who makes the call. 0-1. Jamie Moyer, the starter tonight, went 7 innings and gave up only 2 runs. On just 6 hits, he walked 2, hit a batter. That was Carl Everett, and he struck out a couple. Up and in as it gets away from the catcher, Tom Lampkin, for ball 2. It's the second time tonight, Bell, that a fastball got away from Jeff Nelson.
Well, it looks like Nelly's really not finishing off of his pitches, standing very erect as he tries to complete the pitch. And when he does that, that ball has a tendency to run up and in to that right-hander. See Lou checking out some of the statistics.
Swing and a miss by Steins, 2-2. That's the pitcher-batter matchups. Shows what each guy does against every pitcher. Here's a look at Carl Everett on deck. His home run tied the game at 2 back in the 5th inning. Strike 3 called. Jeff Nelson strikes out Chris Steins looking. So 2 up and 2 down for the Red Sox here in the bottom half of the 9th. And here comes center fielder Carl Everett.
Number 2, the center fielder, Carl Everett.
Everett is 1 for 3 with the home run off of Jamie Moyer back in the 5th inning that just nestled into the net above the monster in left field. Fouled away. Well, he came in with a fastball up and in.
Everett's faced Jeff Nelson only 1 time, and he struck out. So this is some of the information that Lou kind of puts into his computer in his mind as he makes those decisions, trying to get the right matchup late in the ball game.
And again, Carl Everett is right on the plate. High, ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Look how close Everett is, the home plate from the left side. Way up high again, ball 2, 2 balls and a strike.
His front foot's only about maybe 3 to 4 inches. And it seems like as the pitcher gets closer to his windup, that foot starts getting even a little bit closer. He starts off there, but then it starts inching a little bit closer towards the plate.
High again, ball 3, 3-1. On deck is Manny Ramirez. Pops him up shallow left field. Guillen going out. Gibson coming in. Charles is there, and he's got it, and that will retire the side, and we're going to the 10th inning. Extra innings tonight here at Fenway Park in Boston. After 9 innings of play, Mariners 3, the Red Sox 3. Well, the Mariners and the Red Sox tied at 3 apiece as we go to the top half of the 10th inning. Time now to take a look at the league leaders, brought to you by Les Schwab Tires. And here are the top ERAs in the American League. Val, Oakland on top, the Mariners right there, and so the Red Sox.
Well, you see why the Oakland A's have made that last run over the last 3 weeks. And it's been done by pitching. 3.74 as they've taken that lead away from the Seattle Mariners, who have been on top all year long.
Veteran right-hander Rod Beck will take over in relief here in the 10th inning for Boston.
Rod Beck leads the Boston Red Sox in appearances with 56. He's got a 5-3 record with a 3.43 ERA, but he has allowed 11 earned runs in his last 12 appearances, and also has allowed 13 home runs in the league. That's tied for first in the American League.
He'll face Brett Boone, Mike Cameron, and Carlos Guillen. Line drive, base hit right center field. So Brett Boone leads off the 10th inning with a solid base hit the other way. Brings up Mike Cameron. First pitch, and he slams it to right field.
Well, again, the Mariners come up with a big leadoff base hit here in the crucial part of the ball game, as Brett Boone just jumps all over that first offering from Rod Beck.
The center fielder.
Look at Mike Cameron focused in on third base coach. Dave Myers going through the signs.
Well, you know what I love about the Mariners? They're going up to the plate. Mike Cameron is going up there with an idea already in his mind, thinking, okay, if Boone gets on first base, I'm probably going to be bunting him over. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that sign from Dave Myers.
Toss over to first base to get Boone back. Mariners used a sacrifice to get Olerud to third base with one out of the 8th inning, but couldn't score in the 8th.
Rod Beck threw over to first, hoping to find out something.
Popped up into shallow right field, going out. Lansing toward the line. The second baseman is there to make the basket catch over his shoulder. One out for the Mariners here in the 10th inning, and Boone has to stay at first base.
Mike Lansing looks like he starts to overrun the ball. As that ball starts coming back to him, the ball almost hits him off the chest.
Carlos Guillen.
But nonetheless, he completes the play.
One on and one away. The go-ahead run over at first base, and here's shortstop Carlos Guillen. Beck steps off, and he looks Boone back to the bag at first. That right field foul pole is very inviting. The pesky pole. We saw Johnny Pesky earlier tonight. Here's a look at the foul pole. The foul poles are lighted here at Fenway. Fastball for a strike, 0-1. High snap throw to first base, and back to the bag is Boone. Doug Mirabelli trying to pick off Boone over at first base as the count evens up on Carlos Guillen at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Boone, he's really not that far off of first base. Mirabelli's throwing behind Carlos Guillen.
Back again.
Beck trying to keep Brett Boone close over at first base, thinking that Boone may have some theft.
There he goes. Fly ball down the left field line, curving foul up into the crowd, and it's 1-2 on Guillen. Yeah, Buhner was running with the pitch.
Judging by the lead and the jump that Brett Boone got, it looked like it was a hit and run. Carlos Guillen, who handles the bat well, looked like he was slashing from the left side.
Lou calling the shots from the dugout.
See, Boone does not have a very aggressive lead over there.
Ground ball past the mound, charging the second baseman Lansing. He gets Guillen at first base, and on the play, Boone will get down to second. So a slow roller. Brett Boone had time to get into scoring position. But 2 outs, and that'll bring up new left fielder Charles Gibson. Extra innings tonight. Mariners are 6-3 this year in extra inning games.
Number 1.
This is Gibson's first at bat.
Fielder, Charles Gibson.
Charles batting .128. No home runs and 3 runs batted in. Fastball on the inside corner from Beck. 0-1. Charles came out for early batting practice this afternoon. A lot of times when the Mariners head into a city for the first time, 5-6 guys come out for early BP around 2 in the afternoon. Strike 2 called on the inside corner. 0-2 on Gibson.
Well, if you're sitting there wondering why Al Martin is not pinch hitting right now, he is 1 for 12 lifetime versus Rod Beck. Lou Piniella opting to go with Charles Gibson.
Got him swinging. And that will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 10th here at Fenway. All tied up. The Mariners 3 and the Red Sox 3. Seattle Mariners baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines celebrates 30 years of freedom, one mission, low fares. By Pennzoil, protection under the toughest driving conditions. By your Northwest Ford stores, home of the #1 selling trucks in the Northwest. By your local tire factory store, take us along for the ride. And by Emerald Downs. There's more going on here than you think. And there's a lot going on here at Fenway Park as we go to the bottom of the 10th inning. All tied at 3-3. A packed house here at Fenway for the opening game of this 3-game series. We've got a new pitcher. Right-hander Jose Paniagua will take over in relief to face Manny Ramirez, Dante Bichette, and Mike Lansing. So here's Jose.
Jose's taking over for Jeff Nelson. Jose has 48 appearances with a 3-3 record, 4.28 ERA. Opponent's hitting only 167 off of Jose. He's got 35 strikeouts in 54 2/3 innings. And he's going to be facing his fellow countryman, Manny Ramirez.
Manny with a double off the wall in center field, and he scored the tying run in the 8th inning to make it a 3-3 game. 1 for 4.
And there was an errant pitch by Jose Paniagua to Manny Ramirez that got a very much like that one right there. They got Paniagua the suspension.
And I believe when we go to New York on this road trip, they're going to hear his case.
John McLaren, bench coach for the Seattle Mariners.
Big swing and a miss. 1-1 on Manny.
Jose just rearing back and going right after Manny with some good gas.
Manny 37 home runs, 103 runs batted in. Inside the Mariners' third base dugout. This club battled back to tie it up for the run in the 9th inning. Ball 2, 2-1. Fouled away behind the plate, and the count is even on Manny at 2-2. Never gets cheated, does he, Bell?
This guy's just such a good hitter. Manny Ramirez has been one of the most potent offensive players in the game of baseball over the last 5 years.
Where do you put this pitch?
Well, I'd probably go some kind of breaking ball with Jose Paniagua. Would be that slider down and away off of the plate.
Swing and a miss. Manny Ramirez strikes out, 1 away for Boston here in the 10th. Brings up Dante Bichette.
Well, Jose just finishes him off with a great fastball down and away. Looks like Ramirez is looking for something off speed. He ends up just waving at that pitch. Good location. Late in the ball game, they've got to beat you the opposite way. You don't want to make mistakes on the inside part of the plate.
So 1 out, and here's Dante Bichette. Bichette is 1 for 4 with a single and a run scored. Ground ball to third. McLemore. Tricky hop, but he handles it, so 2 outs for Boston. Nice play by Mark McLemore. Mac of all trades.
He certainly is. And you know, Lou Piniella has the confidence of putting Mark out there. This is a tricky hop. That ball kind of kicks back up and into Mark McLemore. Mac with very sure hands over there. Ends up coming up and making the fine throw across the diamond.
Start of the night in left field. Now over there at third base, so 2 outs and nobody on. 3-3 tie, and here's second baseman Mike Lansing. It looked like Jeff Nelson was going to get out of a jam in the bottom of the 8th inning with Manny Ramirez on at third base. He got Bichette and Lansing to pop up for the first 2 outs. Little high, ball 1, and then Shea Hillenbrand had a little broken bad dribbler up the third base line. David Bell made a great play, charging, got to it. Outstanding throw to first, but it was just a little bit late to get Hillenbrand, and Manny Ramirez was able to score the tie-in run to make it a 3-3 game. Fly ball into straightaway center field. Mike Cameron camps underneath, and we're going to go to inning number 11. A 1-2-3, bottom of the 10th. We go to the 11th, tied at 3.